Whoa! Woohoo! Well. Welcome back to the TBD podcast, episode 3. We're excited. It's going to be another good one.
Let's go.
We welcome on our brother, Copeland Petitfils, brother of JC Petitfils, who we ran with some step sing talk last week. We are excited to run through some NFL with Super Bowl Sunday upcoming. So, yeah, welcome on, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So we got a big matchup, and we're stoked, boys. What are your thoughts? Let me hear the initial thoughts.
Hope you disappointed that Joey B's not going to be in the Super Bowl this year, and obviously you're rocking the LSU gear this evening.
Yep, Joey B, king of Alabama football. He rules them. But I just had to put that out there before we start. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just incredibly hard to beat Pat Mahomes 4 times in a row. I mean, we're talking about he's on pace probably to be the best quarterback ever. I mean, he just is. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's probably incredibly hard to beat someone 4 times in a row. And it's really kind of, in my opinion, kind of like you play your divisional rival 3rd time in the playoffs, and they just know how to play you, you know? And
yeah.
I think they stopped the run really well. They knew that if they just made it one-dimensional, their pass defense and their pass rush could get to, a weak O-line. And but surprisingly, I don't know how, but the Bengals were still in that game somehow to win. And they just pushed Pat Mahomes out of bounds, and it was history. But yeah, I mean, I told Hank before, I was like, dude, I just don't think the Bengals, like, everyone was like hyping up the Bengals. And I think the past 3 times the Bengals did win, no one picked them to win. So it was like, oh, okay, like I think they could win. But then everyone, like the mayor and all those people hyping them up, and I was like, they're going to lose.
The mayor thing felt like a jinx for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was, I think the better team won that day. So I think Joe Burrow probably would have died if he played against the Eagles defense. Like, the best pass D. They have 4 players with over 10 sacks. That means their backups have 10 sacks.
That's ridiculous.
The Eagles are stacked. And
I
saw a post, and this can be a conversation for later on this evening, but is this the best? I saw someone post and asked, is this the best Eagles team of all time? I think I'm not super educated on Eagles history. No, there's been some great teams out there, but they are loaded on the offense and defensive end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's a tough one, but
until they win it, I guess they can't really have that conversation because it's like there's some other teams that have won it. But I think if we're looking at their defense, it's probably the most talented defense I think I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, other than like Ravens defense with Ray Lewis and
the bad boys.
Yeah, I mean, their defense is just, it's crazy good. I mean, especially they got Chancey Gardner-Johnson from the Saints for basically nothing, and he was the best nickel in all of NFL, I think. But I don't know, dude.
It feels wild. I feel like this team is way better than their 2017 team that won. But
yeah, I do too. I don't think anyone expects Nick Foles to win.
That's how sports is, though. It's like it's so unpredictable, unexpected, and teams get hot, man. Teams get real hot.
I was gonna say that's the beautiful thing about sports, and specifically, I think like when you're not playing in series, it's so much more difficult. And I believe in the MLB or the NBA to go on a hot streak or really NBA finals, because you have to win so many games to just get to the finals. Like, obviously they're series, so you have to win 4 games even just to win the series. But like in the NFL, you go on a 4-game win streak and like you're in the Super Bowl, and that's all it takes, So It's a beautiful thing I think about college football and NFL is you go on a little streak and you can find yourself in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, looking back to the Giants, I was like, the Giants, those years they won, I was like, they barely made the playoffs. And this year I kind of thought like maybe because they barely made it too, but I was like, they're not talented as they didn't have Eli Manning.
I was about to say Danny Jones is not that guy.
he's improved a lot more. He is over impressed me in terms of what I thought he would be in the NFL. And to consider him as a playoff quarterback, I would have never thought he would get the Giants there. And obviously there's some other determining factors and it's kind of off the beaten path, but he's outperformed what I thought he would coming into the league. I didn't think he was a good draft pick.
Yeah.
5 overall, definitely not.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. That was definitely a Mitch Trubisky-esque pick, but it worked out better than Mitch. So,
A lot better.
yeah, I just want to acknowledge that both the picks I made. So I did pick the 49ers and the Bengals to win. So that's a little unfortunate. But I also kind of stand by the 49ers pick because they literally, like, every quarterback was hurt. Everyone. It's a joke at that point. And their team was still amazing. Like,
It kind of felt at the end of that game, they didn't like, they knew that they had their like fourth string quarterback in, and they didn't really care. Like, they didn't really try, I feel like, to win.
yeah, I kind of agree, which is unfortunate. But it's hard not to lose a little bit of morale when you, like, let alone you're already on your third string and then he gets hurt at the start of the game. It just sucks.
Yeah.
But now the Eagles deserve to be there. I thought the Chiefs Bengals game was weird. I think you kind of said it, Cope, but I honestly kind of thought that they specifically that game, I thought the Bengals were getting dominated, but there were like multiple huge catches. The Jamar one, like, over 2 guys, and then the T Higgins one that was just unreal in the corner. Like those are just game changing plays. Like, if they don't make them, that game's just completely different than that.
Yeah.
Obviously. But dude, that makes me wonder, Cope, what do you think they're gonna do with T Higgins?
I don't know, dude. I've been hearing that we made the Bengals made trade.
Jacksonville.
It's just hard for me to think. Like, I know the Bengals won't have enough money to pay like all those guys, but I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't, like. I know he wants to get paid now, but like, the Bengals are a really good team still, and like, if they get like, more better offensive linemen this offseason, I think someone saw him like maybe getting like Wirfs or like some better line, because that's really like their just biggest issue. Like, every time Joe Burrow has time to throw the ball, he can do, like, and make plays, And so I think if in his mind, like, if he can do one more year and then they could franchise tag him or something like that, and then he can go somewhere else or get traded, I think why not just keep him for another year and then let him get paid somewhere else. But I don't know. I mean, everyone wants. I think T really wants probably to be still at the Bengals, but if he wants to get paid, he can't.
He's ridiculous, man. He'd be the starting wide receiver on half the NFL team, maybe more than half of all NFL teams, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, he's
the number 2 wide receiver in the Bengals. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
I still sometimes think the way, with Jamar out most of the year, he was really the one this year.
That's a good point. He doesn't necessarily isn't falling in that category much.
I never, and again, they're making such outrageous money. I never understand guys chasing the bag. In my opinion, I understand they have families and lifestyles they're trying to support. But man, if I had an opportunity to go win a Super Bowl with a team and felt confident, man, like, you're still making a ridiculous amount of money. Like, go chase, like, going to the playoffs and going to a Super Bowl. And if you win a Super Bowl, you're going to make X amount of money just from that alone. And endorsements, I don't know. I never understand chasing the bag and going to a poor team. Now, if you can chase the bag and go to another Super Bowl contending team, then that's a win-win. But I never understand going to the poor teams just to make money.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I don't. Unfortunately, that's such a big part of a lot of the major sports now. It's
That's right.
Kind of ruined things, in my opinion, but that's how it is. Especially with like the trade requests. That made me start thinking about like T. Like, what if they franchise tag him or something? He just starts saying, "I want a trade request." It's just like, it's just kind of stupid. It's like an immediate get out of jail free card. I mean, obviously, they don't have to acknowledge it, I guess, but like, guys will sit out as much as they can. It's weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the game's been overlooked. It's like, people don't understand. I mean, like, Keenan, I think you make a great point. Like, there's so many pros now who don't have rings. Like Randy Moss, like all these guys are like, man, they don't have rings.
Yeah.
Like, if they chose to, maybe still get paid, but not be the highest paid receiver because it's not an ego issue, then, and they can stay where they can win, then why not? If I don't understand I never understood that either. I think
Yeah.
it should be more about, being I would want to be with the guys who I played with and had the best team we can if they want you back to franchise, and not, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, then it's kind of unrelated to the NFL, and then we can get back to the Super Bowl, two teams. But as you look at like a Scottie Pippen back with the Bulls back in the day, and he's the king of it. Obviously, he decided that he wanted to do that 10-year, get really underpaid. He won a lot of, NBA rings with it, but I feel like he probably felt like he really got snubbed during that 10-year period. So that's one of those examples. That's a prime example of you get 6 rings out of it, but you got vastly underpaid for what your worth was. It's just one of those things. I'd be curious to ask him if he thought he was worth it.
Yeah, from what I remember from the documentary, it kind of seemed like he was still upset about it. From what best
he was
I
upset.
mean, it'd be
about
hard,
a lot of things.
What'd you say?
I said he was upset about a lot of things still.
Yeah, well,
that was a unique documentary for sure.
That was
personal vendetta.
Jerry, man, my favorite guy in the whole one.
Ah, man.
Jerry Krause, Jerry Reinsdorf.
I like Jerry Reinsdorf. I didn't like Jerry Krause, but
yeah, he seemed like
he got a bad rap. He put them together at the end of the day. So
he did.
All right, boys. I want you to guess. So I have the ESPN article pulled up here for the Super Bowl predictions from all of the team analysts and then the NFL analysts. So it's 71 experts. How many out of 71 pick the Eagles, and how many out of 71 pick the Chiefs? Or you can just pick one because if you don't want to do the math, whatever. How many do you think picked one or the other?
$50 Eagles, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. I would have said close to 40, 43, a little more than half. So wherever that would be, I guess I'd be right around that 40, 44 and a half to Chiefs.
And
You said Chiefs?
You said Chiefs?
Yeah, I think more than half would.
Okay, so Cannon said if you're saying 40, so about 44, you said 43, 44 to the Chiefs, and you said 50 to the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean maybe it's a little high, but 50.
Well, I like it. So it was 45 to the Eagles.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Dang it!
Cannon said 44, and then Hank's face was like. And then
I thought you could say 44 to the Eagles. I was like, oh, that's perfect. No, I mean 45 to the Eagles. That's a pretty big favor, 63%.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's much more than half.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's the Eagles, and they're favored in the betting lines by 1.5. So, hey,
I never like just playing football growing up. I hated being the favorite team, or I hated because it's like you're expected to win, and it's like I don't know. I think it adds a mentality to it. Like I think with the Bengals and the Chiefs, like I think the Chiefs were like, hey, it's called Burrowhead, it's called all this stuff. Like we're gonna win this game, and like same thing. I kind of do think the Chiefs are gonna win this game. I don't know how it doesn't make sense on paper. It doesn't make sense on the stats. I mean, but the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, and they do. And as much as I don't like Patrick Mahomes, he is amazing. And so it's just, I don't think ESPN is going to be right, but we'll see.
I can kind of see this. I'm not sure it will happen. I actually would. I'm going to go ahead and do my pick right now. I think the Eagles will win, but I also will say this could be the kind of Patty Mahomes moment to become kind of the next generation of Tom Brady. Like obviously I'm not sure anyone will ever reach Tom Brady level rings wise, especially, but like if he wins this, so you're early in his career, like he's reaching a different caliber, and I could see it happening for sure.
Does he have 2 rings?
He has 1. He lost to Tampa Bay.
So he's 1 for 2. I need to look up. I need to check how long he's been in the league. It has not been long.
It's 5 years.
5 years.
Gosh.
Yeah, so he entered the league.
He's
in
been the last 5 AFC championship games.
Right, it might be 6 then.
That's ridiculous.
I think he went in his sophomore season, right, basically, because he was a rookie, didn't
Yep.
play.
Yep, he won his sophomore season. So this is his
It's
6th year.
season. Yeah, you're right. Okay, 6. Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, we're watching history for sure.
Well, actually, it's kind of his 5th year because he didn't really play his first year. But
Yeah, so it's 6 total, but he didn't.
he
play.
won. He won the NFL MVP his rookie year. And he won one last year, and then he
What?
Like basically his rookie year because he didn't play his.
Oh,
in my opinion, his rookie year. Not really though. Like he didn't play. He played one game his rookie year.
Kind of crazy. Tom Brady didn't play his. I mean, he was like, right? Did he play his whole first year, or is that when he started?
I think there was an injury.
No.
Yeah, I think it was
Drew-
injury midway through his freshman year.
That's kind of
Yeah,
interesting
Drew-
how both guys didn't like flat out just start at the beginning.
No, man. I mean,
But
dude,
they might be one of the best. They might be 2 of the best ever to play, and they didn't start.
that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is I feel like even if I don't, I can kind of see your point, Cope. Like, I don't actually think they will win, but because it's Mahomes and he could be that level, he'll find a way, like Brady did all those years, just to get it done. Like it's just stupid, and I'm not even like going to be really super happy about it. That's just what I like. It very well could happen,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, obviously a heck of a game. I think they match up well, and obviously it's just 2 powerhouse offenses going against the Eagles defense, which is actually just incredible. And, I just feel like the Chiefs just find a way. Another conversation, and not to get off track, is Andy Reid.
Oh, I know, man.
He's got to be up there as one of the best coaches of all time, just from the standpoint of having 2 different careers, one with the Eagles and now coming to the Chiefs. And it's just, I think he's underrated. He's incredible what he's done, specifically with the Chiefs here the last 5-6 years.
Dude, I stand by that. I think Andy Reid is the GOAT. I'm gonna stand by it, especially of this generation. I would even say, honestly, I know that's a little ridiculous, and maybe, I guess Bill Belichick's kind of seen as that, but like Andy Reid's done it for longer, and he's done it with multiple teams, done it with different players. I just think he reigns supreme.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be had there with the diversity of teams and players, where the Bill Belichick era has been completely and solely with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And has not been outside of that. And he's obviously found a way to do with the Eagles, and obviously with a completely different squad now with the Chiefs. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
I would say maybe, okay. So I know I kind of gave my prediction, but I would say if the Chiefs can stop the Eagles run game and they make them one dimensional, because I think that the Eagles, they have a great pass offense. They do. Like, I'm not gonna say, and they have plenty of weapons. But I still think if you're gonna challenge Patrick Mahomes, you're gonna make it a passing game. You're not gonna beat Patrick Mahomes. You're just not. You don't care if you have 4 scrubs on his team. He's Patrick Mahomes, and he's just different than Jalen Hurts. I mean, Jalen Hurts has had a great season, and if he wins MVP, he deserves it. Patrick Mahomes wins it, then he deserves it. But I just think if you make it one dimensional and you make it where it's just passing, Patrick Mahomes is going to outdo you. And I think, the Chiefs have a young secondary, but they're really talented. Like, I think like 2 or 3 guys were 1st-round picks in the past 2 to 3 years. And I mean, they held the Bengals, and they have great pass rush defense too. So if the Chiefs can stop the run game, and make it one dimensional, I think that's how the Chiefs win. And if they can run it, if they get Jerick McKinnon and Pacheco, who's been playing really, really well the past 3 games, crazy for a 6th-round pick. But if he can run it like he's been running it, and the Eagles' run defense, that's their weakness. Of their whole defense, that's their weakness. So if they can find ways to run it and get the pass defense for the Eagles off kilt, then I think they can really win this game. Now, I mean, again, we have to go back to the point of the Eagles' pass defense is probably some of the best, if not the best we've ever seen, because of 4 guys over 10 sacks. And those are their backups have 10 sacks too. I
Mm.
mean, and they signed Adama Sue, they signed all these guys. So it's like, I mean, they're deep. And so we'll see. I mean, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think that's why, though, Hank, I think that's why they beat the even though the San Fran was so good, I think, they hurt. I mean, they didn't beat them, but they hurt they hurt the rookie of the year.
Yeah, Purdy.
They were just getting back there time after time. The amount of it was just kind of like a movie. It just felt like every time you drop back the pass, the ball was just floating in the air because the quarterback was just getting hammered. And the ball was just kind of floating out there. And it was just like it was going to be picked, or it was just like going to be someone diving after it.
Yeah, it definitely feels like. I mean, you got to give some credit that, like, I mean, I don't think they want to hurt him, but they did hurt him. I mean, it was them. It wasn't like a freak injury. I kind of give them some credit there. It's the game. It's just that's how the game of football is. So,
Yeah.
Wasn't a quarterback too. He got a concussion. They were going to put Christian McCaffrey at quarterback, and
Bro, who they should have put is Juwan Jennings, the Tennessee alum. He was a higher ranked quarterback out of high school than Joe Burrow.
Wow.
And he played wide receiver at Tennessee, so that's pretty funny.
They should have. Yeah, they have so much talent. Honestly, they should have just signed someone off the street. He would have been fine.
That's true. Hey, speaking of off the street, according to Chris Sims, did you guys see Chris Sims' take? I wanted to see what y'all thought about it.
The hottest take ever.
NFL quarterback. He said that he did not believe Jalen Hurts was a top 10 passer in the NFL.
I think
that is because of how the Eagles' job is set up right.
The thing is, I don't incredibly disagree with him. I don't say like this season he has, but I think there's so much more than just like saying that, like there's outliers in history, like the Tom Brady's, the Pat Mahomes, and I honestly think Joe Burrow is going to be there one day. I think there's like outliers where your coaching is not like life or death for you, but I do think with Jalen Hurts, I think it's not saying he's not talented at all. I'm saying he's incredibly talented. He's incredibly athletic, but I think the scheme set up for him, when you run so much and they're so effective with the run, and he's a dual threat quarterback, I mean, it opens up the passing game where it's like he's so dangerous, and he has insane athletes. You could say the same thing for the Bengals. I mean, they have insane wide receivers, but I don't think he's like, if you're the best passers in the league, I don't think he's like maybe top 5, maybe top. I don't think he's like one of the top tier ones.
Well, I think our top tier, our top 5 in the league right now is legit. You're looking at a Pat Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow, and you're looking at some of the, Justin Herbert. You're talking about some of those guys, and they can sling the pill. And for Jalen Hurts to be, he's just versatile in different ways, right? And which makes him, vulnerable for defenses.
Yeah, absolutely. His running game is ridiculous.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill, top 5 too.
Oh, dude. When we started, did you guys actually see though? Where I think it was Tom Brady. No, I don't know. So I think it might have been Tom Brady. So something about how the NFL didn't impress him anymore. It wasn't the play wasn't as good. Maybe.
No, that was Dilfer.
Oh, it was Dilfer.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Rodgers, that's what it was.
No, it was Trent Dilfer, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
He's not really impressed.
People were replying, and I believe the comments that I saw kind of saying Trent Dilfer, the guy that didn't even. I don't even think he really made it in the NFL that well. So.
I love it. There's a video out there of a guy running down the sideline, wide open touchdown. Dilfer just throws it right into the crowd.
Yeah,
awesome.
I saw that.
Bowl, right? He won a Super Bowl with who?
The Ravens, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. Wait, so
he did win the Super Bowl that year. He also, he wasn't the starter really for the team, but he did play
what?
But he started about 8 games for him that year, and he
late or early.
Oh, that's a great question. I actually don't know, but he threw for about 1,500 yards.
It's a lot different if you started the first 8 games and then someone came in and carried you to the Super Bowl.
Sure, let's see.
Carson Wentz, but sorry.
That's a Nick Foles journey right there.
Why is he like the quarterback guru?
Well, he actually did come in and start running the show. So kudos to him. He deserves the credit.
Cool.
See, wasn't he the coach at Lipscomb?
He was Lipscomb Academy.
Now he's a
Nashville.
UAB.
Plays
That's
on.
it. Yep. UAB, which actually, and this isn't meant to be too rude to UAB, may be a bit of a step down in terms of the talent he's actually coaching. I'm not kidding. Considering a lot of the Lipscomb kids are going to be easily heading to SEC schools. And future, if he was to have stayed, would have been a national high school powerhouse. So pretty funny that he chose to head out to the Dragons or Blazers.
Doesn't CPA have to play him?
CPA and Lipscomb, they're big rivals. A little unfair to CPA, similar to basically any school Lipscomb plays. They're like recruiting and stuff. It's insane. So
yeah, it's kind of unfair.
It's fascinating. Well, I think going back to Jalen Hurts, I think if the Chiefs want to win, they have to limit his legs. I think that's where he becomes so versatile. Gosh, is one containing him. If the linebackers, I would be doing a shadow type scheme where you have a linebacker who's assigned to him. You've got to keep him in the pocket. And then on those read options, he's deadly. So I think if the Chiefs want to have a chance, they got to at least limit his running ability. But also, I think as we saw last week, he takes a beating on them runs, man. He's just getting, it's one of those Lamar Jackson type of things where obviously it's such an asset to your team that they can run, but at the same time you're half scared every time they run because he's get injured so easy.
Yeah,
he definitely.
Chris Sherman's going to be a big name to watch in this game if he can just like bulldoze the number one O-line in the league. If he can somehow like cause Jalen Hurts to feel unsettled or not get in rhythm, I think that would be big. But we'll see. I mean, he's been playing out of his mind, that guy.
Yeah, he has. He really has.
I watched some of the highlights against the Bengals, and he just credit the Bengals O-line were backups, but still he manhandled on runs and passes. They're less than 2 seconds.
Yeah. The wild thing is that he actually, for being in the playoffs so much, for being a guy that is pretty well known for a great defensive lineman, he had never had a playoff sack until last game.
Really?
Never. Not one playoff sack, and he had a couple on the Bengals game.
Wow.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
I think I heard a story or something about how he was saying last year playoff game, he said it was all his fault that they lost to the Bengals or something. And he got so mad and he made his motivation to just beat the Bengals this year. That's what I heard that story on.
I mean, dude, that's what you do to teams that own you. The Bengals literally own the Chiefs.
And he was the playmaker in the game though. He was the difference maker in that game. If they didn't have him, they weren't having. I mean, other guys probably would have sacked Joe.
And you could also say that the men wearing the black and white, the zebra stripes, were one of the most important players in that game as well. Literally calling back an incomplete third down punt, and they called it back and let him run another play, which actually ended up in a first down, even though it didn't matter on the drive. Unreal.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That was the dumbest things I've ever seen. And
it was.
It wasn't even really
And the worst part is when the announcers are trying to make it seem like it's okay what the refs did, but it's really not. Just go against what the refs say for once. They're wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the reason they lost. I mean,
no, it didn't end up mattering, but other calls maybe are argued too. What do you guys think about the Chiefs reporter actually that also played in these NFL experts predicting an Eagles win?
Chiefs reporter?
Let's see what the Eagles report.
It's reverse psychology. He wants people to think they're gonna win.
That's right. He's got the Copeland mindset.
I will say the Eagles reporter actually did predict an Eagles win, so I don't really. That's kind of tough.
Well, it's Eagles fans. They're annoying. They stink. Eagles fans are the worst fans voted ever. Awful fans, but they're a good team.
Hopefully Warren Fitzpatrick isn't listening to this.
He doesn't really count because he's not from Philly.
He's not from
I've
Philly.
worked with all Philly people, and there's not all of them, but if you go to the stadium, I remember some friends were getting flipping the bird to them, as they're walking out. They got demolished.
Philly fans are legit. I'll tell you that much. That's true. The
Oh.
Phillies, in
I
baseball.
don't count Warren as that. I mean, he's not from Philly. He could be a Philly fan, but he's not really considered the worst. because
similar to some Alabama fans we know.
yeah,
But
exactly.
anyway.
They correlate on a map. It's like equal sign Alabama fans, and that's where they are.
No, I'm kidding. The our Bama friends actually have a reason too. I was kind of kidding about that, but I was going to say though that Eagles fans and Chiefs fans are definitely top tier annoying fan bases. Not even in doubt, in my opinion. And some of the videos I saw from Eagles fans, they looked like some of the most miserable fans of all time. I was so mad watching those videos that I was like, I would be livid if I had to experience kind of getting heckled and stuff like they did, because it was truly miserable to watch.
Who's that one guy like made all those videos like he's like an Eagles fan and he like made all those videos and he's like super funny. He's on all like the memes and stuff.
I don't know.
But you thinking about the big guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's a controversial guy. Now we don't have to really get into it, but it's just say he got in some trouble for some stuff, but it's okay. He's not the best human. That's okay though.
He's probably the funniest guy I've ever seen.
The funniest guy you've ever seen.
I'm not kidding. He's hilarious.
But yeah, so you guys are both going for Chiefs. I'm gonna pick the Eagles. It's gonna be a.
Wait, Hank, you're going. So you think the Eagles are gonna win, but you're going for the Eagles too?
Oh, let me think. I have thought about this. Let me think. Dude,
I'm personally rooting for the Eagles. I
can't do it.
I can't do it either.
I can't do it, and the Chiefs own the Titans, and I honestly, it is pretty miserable because they beat us in the AFC Championship game. They've owned us. I think that some of the calls they got in games we played have been frustrating. You could kind of mark them down and remember those moments, but genuinely, Eagles fans are the worst. So I don't want them to win.
And honestly, I want all their players to just soak up the loss and have to look at it. Honestly, it's gonna be so satisfying when I see that.
All right, well, it's gonna be sad if they win because yours would be sad too.
And the only bad part of the Chiefs winning is that we have to see Jackson Mahomes do some TikToks.
Do you guys see Patrick Mahomes' dad, and then imagining him being Jackson Mahomes' dad?
No.
Oh my gosh, I'll send you some videos. But let's just say this man he is not. If you put him next to Jackson Mahomes, they are about polar opposites for what you'd expect for culture, kind of how they speak, anything about them. So yeah, you'll see. Yeah, go ahead and look them up.
My boy Jackson Mahomes. What a goon.
Oh man. The question. Man, but it's gonna be a fun game. I know that much. I think it will be a good one.
I hope it's a good one. At the very least, I just want to see a good game.
Yeah,
I just want to see a good game.
I think it will be, honestly. I think it will be a good game.
Well, as long as they write a good script, should be a good game.
Yeah, I believe it. The refs too, especially the refs.
True. Wait, where is it taking place this year? The Super Bowl?
Phoenix.
Arizona.
There is a lot going on out in Phoenix.
Yeah, golf.
Oh, true. I swear it's always in Phoenix or Miami.
Man, that grass looks so green at the tournament.
Man, I love some Phoenix.
Waste management.
They got the waste management, the Super Bowl, KD's in town.
Big time. What's that?
Who's KD?
Oh,
KD.
KD. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, KD. Okay, you guys know the classic 17th, is it 17th hole, the one with all the crowd, or maybe it's not the 17th. How many shots would it take you? Crowd is roaring. I mean, it's like peak of the day. How many shots does it take you to hit the green, man?
Hit the green?
Yeah. It's a pretty big green. I mean, I think it's a pretty
the distance. Like, are we going like far back where the pros hit?
No. You get the front tees, not the women's tees, but the most front tees before the front men's tees.
Like right now, or like after months and years?
Right now. We gotta go right now and do it.
How many?
You do it.
How many would it take?
I think.
I don't want to be.
Do we get any warm-ups?
You get 5 warm-up swings. 5 warm-up shots. You get to hit the ball 5 times.
Oh.
Well, not Not at the green though. You just get to like hit on the driving range.
After hitting a couple people, I'll probably hit it. Maybe the third time.
Third?
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Wow.
He's got
I'm
it.
just playing, I'm
You
just
guys
playing.
are good too.
I'll be honest. No, probably not third time, but I mean,
I think if I'm being honest, I think it'd probably take me, give me 7 tries. 6, 7 tries. I think within that. 10's
like
too
you're
many.
the guy where it just happens the first time. And you're like, yeah, 7 tries.
I need to look. I would love to know the yardage. I don't think it's a very long hole to begin with. So I think we'd probably be hitting like a 130, 140 shot. I could probably honestly maybe even dial down to 5. I could get.
Oh my gosh, he's confident.
If I drive it, then and I hit the backboard of the stands there, I'll make sure to hit the green.
True.
I love it.
True. It would take me a bit, but maybe I'm thinking more like 15 to 20 shots, but it'd be good. We get it.
Yeah, probably 20s around me. I would say 15.
20? No, I think you would do less than me. So I'm gonna say 25 then.
Might have to try out each club, see which one.
You just step up with the drive.
Next, putter.
Putter. Well, Cope, I think our meeting is coming to an end. But
Man, this was fun.
it was fun. I enjoyed it, boys.
On to rag on Bama fans and Eagle fans. It's always
True.
different. I know when
True.
we can.
It's always a good day.
We're definitely gonna be talking about some college football here soon.
We'll do a little spring update, some
Spring
spring
update, recap.
practices.
Season and just talking and having fun. So
Kelly ball.
we're all Keenan. Wait. Okay, real quick. Who are we going for, and then who's gonna win?
Going for the Eagles, and I think the Chiefs will win.
Okay.
Go for the Chiefs. I think